doing?
Not too bad. Let's call it with that music. I felt like doing 10 press ups or something there.
Yeah, I know. When my daughter was in her, my daughter finished school early. She was dancing away here in the
Very
background.
motivating music,
Yeah.
man. It's grown on me more and more all the time.
Yeah, so
Like,
so Brian, or should I say, Doctor Penny? How's your week been?
I have had a very good week, Brian. I've had a very good week, I have to say. Yeah, it's crazy. I'll never get used to that. It's really weird. Me mom sent me a letter kind of messing saying Dr. Brian Penny, no, Christmas card. But
Yeah.
for anyone that doesn't know, I've been working on a PhD for the last few years, working in academic stuff the last 7 years. And yeah, it all culminated in a big interview last Friday, and I successfully defended my PhD with minor alterations, which was amazing. And yeah, got the doctor tag. Nice little way to kick off 2022.
Yeah, what a lovely Christmas present. Yeah, but as you say, it's like 7 years of work. It's not just the last couple of months.
It's really not, Brian. Do you know what? I was going to be creating a video this morning, and I says, right, I don't think anyone wants to hear about consistency and growth mindset at the moment. We're into Christmas week, and I says, I caught myself at the last minute. I says, do chill out, and I just done a thank you video instead. Thanks for the support, and a bit of exciting news to share. But you know what it was, and this is something I really always trying to share with people as well. Like when I got clean in 2013 and I started college, I could barely write emails. I really could barely write emails. And I remember just sort of doing little mini courses in Maynooth University. That's where I went to college, learning the basics of English, how to write in the right, nice structural way. And like I couldn't write, I couldn't do public speaking. I certainly couldn't do academic work or PhD or anything like that. And there's two things that really jump out for me that really helped me on that journey. Because I remember we all done IQ tests in the psychology class as well, and people think of PhD doctors as mad intelligent or something like that. I haven't got extra intelligence, not by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't be stupid, but it's not that I have high IQ. It's other people in the class were way smarter than me, like they really were. But it's basically just that growth mindset and the consistency, that if you consistently put the work in, show up every day, focus on the process, and realize that we have we have that growth mindset. Like I can't do that yet. And that was the key. Like I've learned how to write, I've learned how to do statistics, I learned how to do academic stuff, I've learned how to do a thesis. And it was a small thesis, it was a master's thesis, then it was the PhD thesis. It was that growth with incremental changes over time. So with that growth mindset and the realization that you can learn more stuff and grow, and having that consistency, it can turn into it's a real superpower. It really can be beneficial. So I just like to say that to people, like patience is a key if you want to do any big mammoth tasks like that. Like it was 7 years really when you look at it. Like it takes time, but if you show up every day, anything is possible. It really is.
It really is, yeah. If you believe you can or you can't, you're right.
You're right. Great quote. Love that.
And come here, I said this to you before, but it feels like, you went from your addiction. So I feel like you're addicted to learning now, though. That's well, like, what will you do next? I know work certainly will come out. Will something fill that learning gap now that there's nowhere else to go really after a PhD, is there?
Yeah, I think it's just an evolution, Brian, to be quite honest. Like I would say I 100% became addicted to learning when I first got clean, and it was more around Eastern philosophy and mindset and self-awareness, all of these concepts about the mind and stuff like that. And that's what I really, really loved. When I went into academia and I started doing my undergraduate degree and stuff like that in psychology, I was mad about psychology, but over time that sort of addictive obsession with that has sort of phased away. But there was always something new. There was always the next evolution of that. So I'm pretty much going to step away from academia now. I'm not going to stay in that field. And I think what I'm about now, I love developing online courses. I love amalgamating what I've learned in academia to the real world. And that's a real passion of mine right now as well. I'd say if I'm addicted to anything right now, I'm very, very passionate about a new project I'm doing with young people in a mentorship program. And I think like addicted, drive, passion, craving, they're all the same. They're all interlinked. They're all, biologically speaking, they are all that dopamine hit. You're getting rewarded for doing something that you love. Like when people do heroin, they love doing it. Like it's a huge reward for something that they love. It's just some things are more positive than others, like exercise and service to other people. So I think it's just always trying to look for that thing that lights the fire in your belly, but at the same time having the balance to be able to sit with yourself as well. And this is something that I know about me and you struggle with. Like my biggest struggle over Christmas is going to be slowing down and chilling out. And it's a big struggle when you've been on that treadmill for so long. So there's lots of evolutions in all of the different things that we do. So I think the next step is just sort of getting more nuanced and more sophisticated in the approach with things as well, and trying to really refine the stuff I've worked on. I think that's going to be the next phase.
Cool, brilliant. Well, listen, congratulations again, amazing achievements.
Cheers,
delighted to follow just a little bit of it. So, and looking
appreciate
forward to
it.
seeing how you kind of grow even further in 2022 and beyond.
Thanks, Lama. Do you know what was interesting as well? I actually didn't say it to you. I was very surprised by the emotions that came out of it as well. Like what they said, they deliberated for 10 minutes to say, come back in 10 minutes. And he came back and he just says, right, we have your results, Dr. Brian Penny. And that's the way he said it to me. So they just played a little game with it as well. And like, I wasn't bursting with negative. Like, I wasn't like crying or anything like that. And I'd say it if I was, but it just wasn't. It was just this burst of positive emotion, but it was just this release of energy. So there was obviously just this pent up anxiety. I wouldn't say anxiety, this pent up pressure was in there. There was a pressure in there, and it just released, and it was a really overwhelming feeling of gratitude. I think even for the opportunity I was given and the journey I've been on, and the gratitude that I've gotten the second chance at life, because it truly was. I shouldn't be here today. That's the reality. And now I'm celebrating a PhD. So just pure gratitude for that, and the people that have helped me on the way, my family and friends and other colleagues on the way, like yourself.
Deadly, class. And come here, you kind of touched on it, like how will you be kind of celebrating or winding down or enjoying the next week or 10 days or so?
Yeah, I'm interested to get your insights on. That's the magic question. How do you do it? How do you do it? So obviously I don't drink. I obviously don't do drugs anymore. So I plan to do a lot of reading. That's a big plan of mine. So there's been a bit of a social media traction, I suppose, on the addiction PhD story. So I'm doing a nice article with the Indo now today, and getting a photographer is coming out tomorrow. So that's my final 10 o'clock tomorrow is my final bit of work, just doing a photo for the Indo for an article we're doing. And then it's going to be just prepping for Christmas, wrapping presents. And my partner's going to be in work for 1 or 2 days. So I was like, right, what I do with myself? And I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to read. That's the one thing. Coffee shops, reading in coffee shops, going to the gym, chilling out, meeting family, friends, really focused relaxation, that way, which is counterproductive in a way, focused relaxation, but just sort of just trying to be, that way, and just chilling out, watching a bit of TV as well. I've 1 or 2 things I want to do a bit of binging on as well. Actually, 2 programs lined up.
You might have to tell me what that is, but that's for Christmas for me is movies, TV, kind of family, the music as well. Obviously, lots of food and stuff. That kind of stuff. I love that part of Christmas.
Yeah.
So, what will you be binging on there? Anything you're catching up on, is it?
So I'm obsessed with 24, Jack Bauer, 24. That was a huge obsession. I haven't
watched that in a long time. I watched the first few when it came out.
I have the what's called there's benefits, there's ups, there's the good and the bad and everything, right? One of the benefits of addiction, of my heroin addiction, and the amount of tablets I took, they basically destroyed my memory at the time. So I can watch my favorite TV shows and some of my favorite films, and I have very little memory of them. So I watch things that I watched like all the time. It's like watching them for the first time. So I love that 24. I'm nearly finished that now, and there's another show that I'm gonna watch. It's called Lucifer. So my brother put me onto that, and I started watching this morning on Apple TV as well. That's very, very good. I had to get back into that and binge on the rest of that. So there's a couple of TV shows that I plan on watching.
Nice one, good stuff.
Any recommendations yourself? What are you gonna be planning on binging on?
I've never been actually a binger when it comes to the TV. We got Netflix, we had Disney, got rid of that, and we've got Amazon Prime back. I don't know how, but I've never been one for kind of sitting down and binging on stuff. I like watching a good movie, good documentary, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I just I'm a big fan. The RTE guide is somewhere around here. That's Christmas for me. I like kind of seeing what's on, and I might kind of tick a few things I want to watch. And usually I get around to watching about 2% of the things that I tick because there's so much kind of happening. But it's like, I like that process of seeing what I might like to watch, even if I'm not going to watch it. But I actually love all the old movies. Oh man, I think Casablanca is on one morning this
The
week.
oldies are great, man.
I'm gonna watch that again. Hopefully, anyway.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff.
I think it's the nostalgia it brings as well. It's like the memories of them TV shows of when you were younger as well, just brings it back. I have to say, I'm not as much, I wouldn't be a binger. I'd be like 2-3 hours is the max I can do, and then I need to do something else, you know. So it'd be mini binges. Let's go with that. Let's roll with that.
Right, yeah, good stuff.
And the football, of course. Are you a football man, Brian?
Oh, big football fan. Yeah, Liverpool fan.
Liverpool support. What am I saying? My God, we've had conversations about that.
Yeah, I'm actually. So I look forward tonight. You know what I love tonight is the whatever they're calling the League Cup these days.
Yeah, Leicester is that going ahead? Yeah,
that's going ahead. Yeah, right. And he's gonna I love this tournament actually because he gets to play the kids, and Klopp is good, or at least they're the guys that aren't playing regularly. So I might get a chance to look at a few of the younger lads. So this reminds me of my Championship Manager days when I used to play that game a long time ago. Actually, I used to binge on that now.
Talk about addictions. Oh my God.
Hours.
Oh my God. Days.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning, I used to wake up like, oh my God. It was brilliant though, wasn't it? Wow, you brought me back into time.
I would always play the kids in the League Cup game, always.
and you know what? But it had this psychic ability. It was always able to spot the talent coming up. Like it really was. Now I've since have a different perspective on that. It's like confirmation bias, right? So it's like, let's say they have 100 youngsters coming through. And let's say a couple of them come good. We tend to focus on the ones that came good, but we start to forget about the ones that didn't come good in real life. So it's like the game got it right, but it was I forget the names of the few people that a couple of Spanish kids that you always bought when you were 17. They come through.
Oh yeah. Do you know what I found about that actually though? Right, so you had whatever version of the game I had. It was actually, I think it was good and it was bad in a way because, like, let's say 1 year you'd buy the 17-year-olds. And they'd come good, or you see they were coming good at other teams in a few years' time. But if I went in and bought them early, then the next time I was playing it, didn't always come good. Yeah. It was mixed whether that happened or not. So there was something in there. It wasn't. You weren't guaranteed anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the lack of nurturing or something or other that wasn't happening.
Oh, great days.
What a game, yeah.
What a game. I noticed my younger brother, I noticed him playing it not so long ago, and I says, my God, I'd be afraid to go near that. I would be honestly afraid to go near that.
Yeah. I guys know I had to give it up actually because just when it was getting too kind of sophisticated almost the game, and I was getting too into it, and if I had a big cup final come up, all I would do, or a big game, I would just save it at the game, before the game. And then if I lost it, I just go back to the thing. So it was pointless almost.
My brother used to do that as well, yeah. We had a big FIFA man as well.
I played a bit, yeah. My mates were big into that, so we used to play a few tournaments, all right, yeah. That was fine, that was good, but it was the manager side of things I absolutely loved.
Yeah, wow, blast into back to the past. Yeah. I haven't thought about that in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Oh God. And here we could be seeing each other down in Kerry. We'll see how COVID develops over the next few days.
Yeah, well, you're definitely going down anyway, aren't you? Going to Tralee, is it?
Going to Tralee. It's nice. What's called my partner's daughter. She's crazy for swimming. That's what the present she'll like more. She's 7 years of age, but that's the present. She'll be more excited about that than the Santi stuff, you know. So
what is it like the Aquadome down there? Is it?
No, it's actually it's actually just a hotel with a nice swimming pool. That's all it is. But she'll be crazy about that. She gets so excited about that as well. So really looking forward to that break. And that'll be another, like, I do plan to I plan to switch off from tomorrow until the day after Stevens' Day. So that's what the 27th. But the 27th, 28th, 29th, I'm actually going to do 3 days work with a bit of catch up to do. I don't like that middle part of the year. It's a funny time of the year. And my partner's working, so I says, I'm going to do a bit of catch up work and get a bit together and then go away for 3 days, and then I'm going to take a little bit of time off in early January to have a bit more chill out time for that R&R, just so I really hit the new year running then as well, you know.
Yeah. No, I'll probably do something similar. Like, well, I don't think I'll work those days, but I've got a couple of. I've got for the first time probably this year, I'd say I've almost cleared off my to-do list, which is amazing. It's just a couple of, I think you'd call it the quadrant 2 stuff I need to do. I need to look at for the main plan for 2022. Still need to work on that, and also just the kind of the review all the expenses, tidy it up, have that ready for the accountant. I want to kind of get that done. But that's kind of stuff I can do an hour or so here and there in the morning time. Then maybe get out, get some exercise, fresh air with the family during the day. Then back in time for Indiana Jones. That's kind of how we'd kind of wrap up the 27th, 28th, 29th. That's a traditional Christmas now. That kind of gap in between New Year there.
Yeah, it's not Christmas if you don't see an Indiana Jones film.
Have to watch that.
Yeah, definitely. Die Hard and Indiana Jones, they're the two.
Die Hard, yeah. Boxed off Die Hard there at the weekend. That was on at the weekend.
It was on already. Oh, it's such a classic
that
film.
box is ticked now, yeah.
Brilliant.
And come here, Brian. So 2022, what are you thinking? What's the plans? Like high level, of course, like, but what's the plan?
Yeah, lots of stuff. There's lots of opportunities open up, I have to say. It's like the paradox of success is something that I heard a long time ago. I was told to be aware of that. So the more success you get, the more opportunities you get. And it's like having 4 strikers, pick 2. It's a great position to be in, but it can become a little bit overwhelming. So I'm doing a documentary program with Sky I think they're shooting in January, February. So I'm going to do something with that. I'm creating the whole marketing and rebranding and doing a new website. So that's a big project for early January, February as well. I have a new podcast that I'm aiming for around March, April, new courses, the corporate work, and I'm also doing life coaching as well. I'm sort of doing high-end life coaching for mindset, for high-level executives kind of a thing, like really that mindset stuff. So lots of different channels that I'm doing stuff in, and then continuing to create content as well. So when I talk about all that out loud, I have to say it's getting a little bit worrying that
I was going to say, like, that's a lot of plates there. You have
a lot of plates, so I'm going to have to prioritize,
Right, yeah, get it down, write it all down, and do a bit of prioritizing around that. That's possibly not a mistake, because I did manage it in the end, but I did have an awful lot of plates spinning at the same time this year. So if I can, I will see if I can look to maybe take a plate out, or at least have a proper detailed plan around it, how I want to keep it spinning or not.
Definitely. And you know what, even off the cuff, I know the two things, like there's a big course and the podcast that I want to do. They are things that I can easily put on the back burner, that way. So and I think in the business we're in, it's kind of cyclical. So like in terms of like, it's seasonal, I should say it's seasonal. So January to May will be the busy time, and then we have a bit of a summer off. So I could potentially prep the podcast and a new course in the summer or something like that. So angles of doing certain things. So I just need to prioritize, and then you have to look at, as we had talked about before, the financial versus the long-term stuff as well. Like you have to keep the money coming in as well. So I think it'll organically look after itself, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and of course you need a little bit of space then for the reactive stuff, for the requests that come in, the stuff that you don't have planned at all that actually come in. The new opportunities then as well. So.
Yeah, I'm going to try to set up my weeks this year loosely. For Monday is like creation day, newsletter creation, video creation day. Friday is going to be my white space and Q2 day, where I can just it's white space that I'm going to keep available, that reactive stuff can flow into, and it's not going to upset me too much. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the days where I really do me projects that I'm trying to move forward. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out, see how much I get pushed around by that.
Exactly. If you can do that, fantastic. But you're talking to people, if you're delivering stuff, if you're recording podcasts, you're at the mercy of other people's schedule then as well.
Big time. And hey, what's the big plans for you next year?
Yeah, I think, keep the content coming. So I've built up some great content on the Workwell Institute, of which you're there already, and actually hopefully we'll get something else going in 2022.
That's another one of the plans, and that's even a part of the bigger course, so it's something smaller I can slot in as well. So I've a couple of ideas. We'll have to chat about that.
Class, because I've got a couple of other programs coming on that very soon too. Lovely. So there's some brilliant content there now. It really is. Now it's a case of really, I need to get that, talking to people about it. I've started the ball rolling on it, but getting it out there, talking about it, selling it, getting people signed up, working with the students, trying to keep them engaged on it. That it has to be my main focus for this year coming, as well as there's a lot of stuff happening in Trinity and Tangent, where the master classes are rolling.
Lovely.
Postgrad and Workplace Wellness going again. That'll be a September, October start next year. Park Hit is growing as well. The social enterprise, we're actually starting in St. Anne's Park in January.
Epic.
Getting that going, yeah. And then it's all the reactive stuff. It's workshops, It's delivering the live well-being champion training. That's the one training I still deliver live, and it's I've got a great kind of cohort of students now who've gone through my the culture of health, building a culture of health course. So it's kind of working with them. I meet with them on a fortnightly basis, and we have a chat. So it's kind of keeping that going and just keeping them engaged and seeing where all the questions and seeing where all the what are companies doing and trying to keep the finger on the pulse in that regard. Not to mention keep the podcast and the webinars going as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it? It sounds. I'm actually exhausted after I was talking about what you have to do for next year.
Yeah, I sent an email. I sent an email yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. It's a thank you email, and I just caught I saw the email I sent from last year. I went into my MailChimp and I went to last year, and I did a nice review of the year just in numbers rather than just I said 10 webinars, 24 this. So I thought it'd be a nice way to review the year. So I did that yesterday as well. But going through it, I was going, my God, the amount of stuff here that I've done. It's amazing. So much stuff. And so I'm actually going to be doing more next year.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
You really need to keep an eye on it.
It's like that as well, but it's like focusing on the process. And I think that's what you do very well. It's just turning up every day, being consistent, focusing on the process, that growth mindset again. You can learn new stuff, do new things. And it's like the one thing I think that both myself and yourself do quite well is we keep the bodies healthy. When you keep the body healthy, it helps the mind stay healthy as well.
Yeah.
And it gives you that extra energy. So you're just more in tune with stuff as well. I just think I've called it my non-negotiable for the last 6 months now of this year. And it really is exercise just a non-negotiable for me. It really is. Yeah.
I got my, I tell you, I've had such an efficient day today, right?
I love them.
I got my gym workout done nice and early, brought my daughter to school, flew out, got the old booster. I had an appointment there, got the booster in, picked up probably the last big Christmas present on my way back, and collected my daughter from school. She was on a half day, collected her on the way back. Had a one call before this, now this call. I'm going to have me lunch. It's not even lunchtime yet.
Epic. Killing it. Absolutely killing it, man.
Yeah, big time.
Brilliant.
Brian, happy Christmas, happy New Year, amazing stuff. Congratulations again on your doctorate. Looking forward to doing so much more with you next year. We'll be doing the accountability habit is coming back bigger and better than ever.
Yeah.
And 2022, it's going to be a big
2022.
year.
Same to you, Brian. Hopefully I see you down in Kerry, and this is going to be 2022. It's going to be an epic year, man. Really looking forward to it. Exciting times ahead. Have a great one.
Listen, take care, Brian. Take care.
Take care, man.
Happy Christmas.
Bye-bye.